Welcome to Magic Arcanum! I'm Ryan Gomez. Behind the scenes is Nicole Burdick, and we're so glad you're here because it's story time. And it's a very exciting story time because today we get to share a free preview for Neon Dynasty, thanks to our friends at Wizards of the Coast. Yay! Now, we've been waiting like 18 years for a return to Kamigawa. So I'm sure you don't mind waiting just a few more minutes to see this new card, right? I'm just kidding. Say hello to Geothermal Kami. How cute! Our own little hot tub Kamigawa time machine in the sky. For 3 and a green, you get a 4/3 spirit creature. There's more! When Geothermal Kami enters the battlefield, you may return an enchantment you control to its owner's hand. If you do, you gain 3 life. But what is a Kami, and why would you want to put your own enchantment back into your hand after spending mana to cast it in the first place? Great questions, my little lore mages. Great questions. Kami are spirits that embody the eternal essence of things, places, people, and even ideas all across the plane of Kamigawa. They manifest in the form of whatever they embody in the physical plane, and this can leave them looking downright bizarre by our standards. Look at Kami of Twisted Reflection, for example. Its form reflected humanity as it stood during the Kami War. Disjointed, confused, and incomplete. And just because you see a drop of water somewhere doesn't mean you can expect to see the same water Kami. After all, cannot that drop of water be dew on the meadow, a glacier's thaw, or the tear of a child? The poetic and often cryptic nature of these spirits made them an endearing part of our first visit to the plane, even as mortals had to fight off their more sinister and aggressive forms. There were over 20 such named Kami cards at common between the 3 original Kamigawa sets, which did a great job populating the story with these visually striking creatures. But since every spirit was technically a Kami, there was plenty of room for other variations and cycles too. Cycles like the Zubera, each of which had a death trigger that scaled up relative to the total number of their tribe that died that turn. Note that these faceless creatures were all distinctly humanoid looking, and that's because they were originally humans that had been forcibly pulled into the spirit realm. Compare the Zubera to the Baku, benevolent spirits said to eat the bad dreams of children. Gameplay-wise, they each watched for you to play other spirits or arcane spells, and would then store up counters that you could later cash in for an effect. The Deceivers would let you peek at the top card of your library for a small investment of mana, or, for a bit more, you could reveal it and grant them an ability until the end of the turn if that top card happened to be a land. Lands were an important part of Kamigawa, especially once we got to the sweep mechanic, but so were enchantments, and I want to touch on those real quick because they relate to our preview card. Remember, Geothermal Kami can return an enchantment to your hand, and if it had existed in 2004, you might have used it on something like Serpent Skin. This was part of a cycle of enchantments that had what today we would call flash, meaning they could be played as though they were an instant spell. This made them great to use as combat tricks, but then they'd be kind of stuck on a creature that maybe wasn't ideal. So, return one to your hand, gain some life, and cast it again on a new target, or just leave your opponent sweating out combat math for the rest of the game. But Geothermal Kami didn't exist in 2004. It's 2022, and it's 2022. It's 2022. It's 2022. It's 2022. It's 2020. Anyway, sorry about that. It's 2022, and we have sagas Now, as of recording this video, sagas haven't been officially announced as being part of Neon Dynasty, but I have pondered my orb here, and I'm pretty confident we'll be seeing some in the set. Failing that, the ones from Kaldheim are still in standard, so pick one that has a good couple of verses, and then use geothermal Kami to bring it back before it gets the chance to sacrifice itself. But what if you're playing geothermal Kami in Pauper, a format that only uses common cards? Well, you might find success with the Omens from Theros Beyond Death. These enchantments each do something when they enter the battlefield, and picking one up lets you get that valuable effect a second time. You could also scoop up pacifism and move it to a bigger threat, or grab one of your bestow creatures and recast it as a helpful aura. Geothermal Kami may not be a legendary card or a story spotlight, but the commons of a set are still really exciting to me. They do so much to flesh out the world and communicate its themes to the player. All of this leaves me wondering, what other interesting Kami will we see? Will the commons be as spectacular as their predecessors from almost 20 years ago? And will somebody out there bring me a warm, relaxing bath? I am, after all, an overworked monk. Thanks again to Wizards of the Coast for supplying us with this free preview for Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the great stories you'll only find here on Magic Arcanum. We'll see ya.